1 month of war, 1 month of death, destruction and suffering, 1 month of Russian terror against the people of Ukraine, and 1 month of the democratic world rising up with full force to condemn Russia and to stand against this barbaric and immoral war. Mariupol, like other cities, Mariupol will forever be engraved in the history of martyr towns. A theatre bombed, an art school bombed, where so many people took refuge, 90% of the city damaged or destroyed, residents held hostage by Russian troops, no food, no water, no electricity, no heating. Mariupol, 1 month ago, a vibrant city, and today, in ruins. Dear colleagues, Russia is responsible for this war. Russia alone. Targeting women, children, civilians. These are crimes, and those responsible will face international justice. No impunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not alone in condemning this brutal war. Far from it. The EU, along with our partners and allies, is rock solid in our solidarity for Ukraine. For 1 month, an international coalition has risen up to denounce this war. Nations, businesses, citizens, the United Nations, together, we have one common goal: to defeat Vladimir Putin. Putin thought he would conquer Ukraine in a few days, and he was wrong. He thought he would divide the EU and our allies, and he was wrong, because the people of Ukraine are fighting bravely, defending their homes and the future of their children, defending their democracy, and defending our European common values. The European Union, with our allies, we stand as one, and we are taking action against the Kremlin. With our international partners, we have imposed the heaviest sanctions we have ever adopted, hitting the financial system, crippling key economic sectors, and cracking down on supporters of the regime, freezing Russia's foreign reserves, banning banks from SWIFT. The ruble has plummeted, multinationals are fleeing, and sanctions on Russian companies and on decision makers, propagandists, oligarchs, freezing their EU assets, banning their travel in the EU, targeting their yachts, their villas, their private jets. And we are implementing these sanctions and working to close the loopholes that provide an escape for Russia. And we are prepared to do more to starve Putin's war machine. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, the Ukrainian people are battling for their freedom and will not abandon them, because this is our political and moral duty. They are fighting not only for themselves, but they are fighting for our common values and principles. In Versailles 2 weeks ago, we decided to increase our humanitarian, political, financial and material support to Ukraine. Over 3 million people have fled to the EU, mostly women and children, and we are welcoming them with dignity, and will continue to offer them any assistance they need and show solidarity with the countries on the front line. And will also continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine with €1 billion already mobilized through the European Peace Facility. We also have a very powerful tool in our association agreement with Ukraine, and we must make the most of it. Just last week, we continued our support in the energy sector by connecting Ukraine and Moldova to our European electricity grid. We have also worked intensely on the diplomatic front to try to end this war. President Macron and Chancellor Scholz have also played an important role in our diplomatic efforts, and I speak to President Zelensky nearly every day, and I've spoken with President Putin multiple times, and the goal is clear: this war must end. Our Ukrainian friends are also asking for another kind of help. This is political help. Ukraine is part of our European family, and we agreed to support the European choice of Ukraine and its right to choose its own destiny. We have decided to immediately strengthen our bonds and deepen our partnership, and to support Ukraine in pursuing its European path. We have proposed to launch a Ukraine Solidarity Trust Fund and an international donors conference to provide support to Ukraine for its immediate needs and to help rebuild a free and democratic Ukraine. Et mesdames et messieurs, nous aurons l'occasion d'aborder.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have the opportunity to talk about this at the G7 summit and the European Council tomorrow. Now, a few points regarding the Versailles agenda, which I think breathes new life into the whole issue of European sovereignty. We all know that the European project is about peace and prosperity. That is the promise it holds. Now, in the European Council, we want to make sure that we turn the European project and prosperity into reality. We have to factor in the climate agenda, the digital agenda, and we know to what extent COVID put a lot of pressure on us, and it revealed our flaws and our shortcomings. But of course, it also showcased solidarity and the ambition that we have for our European agenda. In Versailles, we pinpointed our flaws and our strengths, and we have come up with an agenda and our working method in order to push ahead, and we want to work hand in hand with the Commission and the Parliament. There are 3 points that I would like to focus on. The first point is something that we have discovered brutally. We have huge problems with energy weakness, and of course this is linked to our Green Deal choices and our ambition to be more independent in the future. But we mustn't wait because climate neutrality has to happen now. We have to adopt the right measures. We have to look at resilience, we have to look at independence, and we have to extricate ourselves from our dependence, especially on Russian gas. And this will really be at the heart of our debate tomorrow and the day after in the European Council. The second issue is also obvious, and that is security, which is linked to peace. And so this is linked to Europe and the Europe of defence. For years now, some voices have been clamouring for European countries to work together in order to boost their European defence capabilities. We've got some initial tools that have been put into place, but now it's obvious that we have to change tack, we have to move up a gear, and I firmly believe that this bold decision taken by the 27 European leaders linked to a peace facility in order to deliver military equipment clearly shows that if we want to, Europe can have a real ability to bring its influence to bear in order to promote peace and our values. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the third point that I would like to raise is linked to the robustness of our economic base. We have to adopt measures that deal a blow to the Russian regime, and we can do that because we have a strong internal market with 450 million consumers. We have many strengths and advantages, but we have to be clear-headed. There are shortcomings, there are weaknesses that we have to deal with immediately, and that's what we're going to be doing, working hand in glove with the Council and the Commission, and I hope also with the European Parliament. Chips, microprocessors, these are technology-related issues that we're going to have to look at and that will have a bearing on innovation. Health as well. We've seen to what extent the whole issue of health has an impact on our collective welfare and prosperity and how it is linked to our economies. So we're going to continue working on this and push ahead. Madam President, you can see this, and ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that the last few years haven't been easy for Europe and the world. We have had digital transformation, global crisis, global pandemic that has dealt a huge blow to us, but we have resisted and we've tried to draw lessons, especially those linked to economic recovery and the ability to work together. We all also woke up a month ago to a different Europe, to a different world, because once again, war is unfolding on European soil. We are fully aware of our responsibility. We have to rise to the occasion because we're fully aware of the fact that the decisions that we take today have to be intelligent, have to be strategic, so that we can make sure that we rise to the occasion and rise to the promise of the European Union linked to peace and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, President Michel. I give the floor now to the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen.